Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Artbeat, and today we are starting off in a rather spicy way. This is unusual, but we want to thank Mr. Harry Ranga for gracing us today and giving us such an amazing performance. Yes, yes, yeah. Just maybe a brief introduction about Mr. Harry. He's one of Uganda's greatest musicians. He has shared stage with some of the most revered artists, guitarists, some of whom Dede Majoro the late, Sam Murungi, in Simba Ngoma Band, Tony Sengo. He has worked with one of the most gifted vocalists Uganda has ever had, Carol Nachimera. He has also worked with Eli Wamara, Moses Matovo of the Afrigo Band, Hope Mukasa's mixed talents. It's such a rich catalog that he has had, a rich history of music that he has been a part of, and we are privileged to have him on the show today. We want to thank you so much, Mr. Harry. Yeah. Oh yeah, we had to put that out there as well. Yes. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, on the Artbeat today, that is how we have started, and expect more of this. We shall be having Mr. Harry on the show and expect a lot from him.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. And yeah, like I said, it's the Artbeat. We are happy to be back here for yet another edition. And as usual, I have a panel with. Today I am sitting in for, I don't know who. But I am the host today.
On this show, we encourage peaceful transfer of power at will. We ask all the other people to pick a leaf in different.
We hope that
positions.
That is coming from a good place. Okay, so I'll ask you guys to introduce yourselves as we go on. Isaac, I'll start with. Okay, I've introduced you, but
Isaac, like he has introduced me. Yeah, Isaac.
Did you include Janzi Award nominee to your introduction? Please, redo. Thank you.
why are you sitting here, Patrick? Nathan?
Yeah. As usual, I'm happy to be here every single week of Thursday every week. My name is Nathan Atluk from the Observer, and I'm here with a great panel.
Thank you. My name is Sento, and like always, every Thursdays I join the gentlemen. Glad to be here, and happy to speak more about art tonight.
Oh yeah, and it's good to be sharing this panel with Janzi Award nominees.
Yes.
Oh, in particular.
we have to put that one out.
Later we shall find out. You let us know. You let us know. Okay, guys. It's not been such a very illustrious week in terms of art, but probably we can shine a light on musician Fik Gaza. We can say embattled Fik Gaza. What is wrong with this young man? Isaac, you could start us off.
For starters, he was rearrested yesterday after being granted bail at Mashingi Court. Why he was rearrested was because there's a new case that he emerged from the original case that he was arrested for. He had been arrested for aggravated robbery, which later turned into simple robbery. And that was because what's his name, I've forgotten. They instructed the police to change the case from aggravated robbery to simple robbery. So, but a new case emerged at Wachiso. In Wachiso, that Fik Gaza had another case of aggravated robbery. So
That's why he was rearrested.
that is why he was rearrested. Immediately he was granted bail. So he's still under police custody.
Me to say, I remember when at the very first when we started this show, what I said, the issue of Allen Skin and Palazzo from last year and up to now, I feel like the industry just disorganized, and I don't want to give much attention on such scenarios of such people with that caliber. That's me.
About Fik Gaza, for me I think You see, when God blesses you, you need to change lifestyle. You can't be, today you cannot be a star. God blessed him to at least have a hit song. A guy of his caliber,
Is that-
from the ghetto to
which-
work
which-
with
which-
artists like Chameleon. I believe at that level, you should move on from
Well,
the
first,
ghetto kind of lifestyle.
what's a hit
that
song?
he lived.
Banana.
Well, he had a bit of airplay that I just don't want you guys to overlook. Okay, whatever it is, whether it's song or not, he left one stage to another. So when God puts you from one stage to another, there are certain things that you must let go. So ideally, if God blesses him and he's out of the coolers, I hope he can change and move on to become more of a better person, because you cannot be the star that people are watching on stage with whatever hit these people are distributing to be, and then you're the same guy in cases of robbery.
Andrew, Fit Gaza's career has been decorated with more chaos than music. Should we conclude that that's the type of artist he is? He has given us more chaos than the music.
One truth is, if you're to go downtown, even for the people that love him so much, you might struggle to find people that know more than a song of his, but they somehow know him. But you see, like, I like what's happening to him, because you see, like, everyone wants to be gangster until like gangster really comes to you. Like you know, when you watch shootouts in the movies, like they look cool, but like real shootouts not really happen like that. Like everyone is running for their life. Like the streets are empty.
There is even no one shooting.
There is even no one shooting. Yeah, so like he got the real leadership treatment. You know,
Okay.
the treatment where you get released, and then there are new cases before you even
Yeah.
step out and then they arrest you. So I think he got that. Finally, when he comes out, I hope he can come out a better person. Like, I think it's time we listen to some music, because these two people, him and the friend
Against
him, like, everything we know about them is more chaos than actually music. So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe this will be the beginning of like a new page.
Okay. We hope so. We hope so. Away from Fit Gaza, is there anything new on the Alex Mohanji Bebekul case? I understand today there was another court session. Or is it something that is just still dragging?
I feel like it wasn't a case, like court session. I feel like just I could say something like a preamble to clear some of bit issues.
Some issues.
Yes, because I saw on X the lawyer was talking about how they went to the court the court allowed them to check on Muhanji's page whether the content of Bebekul is still there. So
And whether he
yes,
made money with it.
yes. So precisely that's
So
it.
that's what they were
So
clarifying.
they've
Yeah.
just given him clearance
Yes.
to go ahead and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a story that we are still following, and probably we can have developments going on. Now, the biggest story of this week, has been about Jose Chameleon. Jose Chameleon, right from the early 2000s, keeps giving us something to talk about him, and this week has not been an exception, except that the biggest talk came from Ray G, another musician, a younger musician, suggesting that because Chameleon has been such an instrumental figure in Uganda's music industry, then we should give him some sort of handshake, if you could call it that. And he suggested that if every Ugandan would contribute 10,000 shillings, it would take just about, I think he said 100,000 Ugandans to make 1 billion shillings for Jose Chameleon. Should we reward our musicians like that, or have we rewarded them enough? What do you think about that, guys?
Like there are many that have not been rewarded enough. On any day, I would say Ugandans should do a handshake for Moses Matov. But come on, when it comes to Chameleon, I cannot think of one Ugandan artist that has received a lot of love
True.
Amidst every situation.
Amidst chaos, like I mean, Chameleon is one person we've loved, and then he just turns around and gives us chaos.
Yeah.
And then we somehow love him back, and then he somehow finds a way of giving us more chaos. Like he can even show up to the show where you paid and slaps one of the fans, but then we're like, yeah,
He gets away with it.
he Chameleon was fake. He beats a DJ. We're like, yeah. He Chameleon was like, nah.
He beats a border guy.
He beats a border guy. Like I think we thanked him
Enough.
as an artist. We've
By
paid
not judging him.
by not judging him, but we've still paid
For his shows.
For his shows. Ugandans have never.
They are
Cancel
streaming his
Chameleon.
music, they're
Yeah.
listening to his
They're
music.
streaming his music.
And better still, Chameleon gets a lot of money. Just not by performing in bars, but just appearances.
Yes.
Someone just gives him money. So and the other thing is, okay, Reggie is telling us to reward Chameleon. How much has he started with? Because he's the he's the one who started the fundraise drive.
Actually, that same point for me, I think, for us, we saw Reggie, the one raising the point, but I think there was
Someone
it was
behind
actually
him?
Chameleon.
Raising
But-
his
raising his own
No,
because
before we even go there,
yes,
if you take the initiative, show us the
bring
way.
up
The effort.
emotion.
Yes, show us the way. That you know what, guys, I have
this
10
amount.
million. Yes, I have 10 million. We can start from there.
Yeah.
But he's just saying we should reward the guy without telling us how much he's putting there.
The other thing for me, I think Reggie was trying to set a very bad precedent.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if today we award Chameleon, meaning that is another vice that I started. You know, in Uganda, there are vices that start.
And then before
And
I
they
have to
become
keep up
normal.
with it.
yeah.
So if it is a person like Chameleon that we are choosing to award, what will happen to a person that Ugandans have not supported to the magnitude like Chameleons? Yet, ideally, they might even be in need of.
Truth is, when you think about it, the Kadongo Kamo artists raised our older brothers
Yes.
and informed us, and none of those people got even half of what
respect.
Spice Diana
Yes.
is getting.
Exactly.
And so, and mind you, after that era, the Chameleons came. I think the Chameleons were Chameleons were in an era that did not have a lot of money in music, but Chameleon got money in
Yeah.
music. Like, he's
And
the
he's
very,
still getting money.
yes, he's the very first Ugandan artist I remember seeing on a billboard. And,
So-
and I believe he wasn't there for free. Then he kept getting those endorsements. Like he was Uganda's most endorsed
So for me,
artist.
when Reggie posted that, I knew the real source was in the comments. And then there was this one guy who said it is actually Chameleon who should give the Ugandans a million of the many that they have supported him with over the years. So the real source, and I don't know, Reggie later on went silent around the same thing. And I think his case suffered an ill kind of, it never reached anywhere because I think it lost momentum even before, having some time around.
No, I don't think it lost momentum because I've seen a couple of radio stations and TV stations hyping the same thing. Some big stations making it like a big topic.
Hyping it because the case is money. It would have worked out
But-
if we had some people, if by now, let's say
We
in
knew
the first
that-
72 hours, we have
But-
about 10 million.
but
And
you know-
then,
but you know-
what avenues are we using to reward Chameleon? There are
Because
no
initially-
avenues.
Initially,
The man
saying,
just came, put there an announcement, went silent.
No mobile money number.
no, he put his mobile number
His
down.
DM on X.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, like
Who's
I- Ray J, he put
I don't think it was his number, but he put
he
the
put
number.
the number down.
But the last time we had the Mayanja family involved in issues of fundraising, it did not go well with Palazzo in particular.
Yes.
If you remember when Davido, Nigerian musician Davido, when he tried, he actually didn't try, he succeeded in a fundraiser that was online. He got a lot of money out of that. After that,
That was to bring his car.
yes, he wanted to import a car or something, and he was actually able to raise the money,
Yeah.
part of which he put in a charity
Yes.
fund. Then after that, Palazzo tried to replicate that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, 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 I
it did
remember
not go well for him.
Yeah.
And I think Chameleon is likely to suffer the same.
But you know why it was easy for Davido? It's not because he's a super celebrity. But if you follow Nigerian music, there is one thing that you will see about their celebrities, and it's the same thing with Kenyans.
Mm.
Nigerian celebrities know how to be there for their people.
Mm.
So there is a certain attachment people have with them, which is beyond the music, but it has everything to do with, when we struggled with police and SARS, these guys came
Were there
down
for
to the
us,
streets
yeah.
with us, because when the whole SARS thing was going on, like the P Square brothers were out in the streets. Like Davido wasn't even in the country, but he came back to the country to be with the people. So when he comes out and is like, I'm trying to import it, because I think he was even joking.
He was
actually
afford that car.
he could afford that. That's why he ended up putting part of it in charity. One of the things someone commented about when the Chameleon thing came out was, we've loved him, we've done everything to see his shows, but when Ugandans were crying, he went silent and then took pictures with the tormentors. So I think like that's most of the times the difference.
To add something small around that, for me, I believe Chameleon in his caliber, at whatever level, currently he's in the US.
Yes.
And Chameleon is at a point in his life where, even at his worst, he might not need an entire government, but an individual can solely just come out and it's like, I'm going to solve that for you. Which is actually not the same. For me, over time I've told people that the Mayanja singing brothers are privileged, because when you look at other artists, but in this case I would say, let's say the Chagulanyi, the Centum singing brothers, they have not had the liberty to do very many things like the Mayanja singing brothers have. But one thing about the Mayanjas, Chameleon in particular, character has always assassinated him, and Ugandans have given him chances over and over. I think that's payment enough.
Actually, all the brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me that's payment good enough. The 1 billion to be dedicated abantu abana.
There are many people who deserve that money.
They have made a contribution to the Ugandan art scene, and probably they are not as gifted or
And
blessed like Chameleon.
It's a very funny thing that an artist comes out and is talking about like contributing, and it's something very personal. Like I would be very happy if an artist came out and is like, let's contribute $1 billion and change the face of National Theatre. Like that's more proactive. Like it's going to.
You think it's organization?
Well, Patrick, being part of this place, has probably seen something at the end of that conversation. But speaking about second chances, Chameleon has had one of the many second chances that he has had in his career to recover from something that was life-threatening.
Yeah.
He has been in the US for about 3 months. 3 months. Yes, and this week, he's supposed to be coming back this week.
Saturday.
Should we expect a heroic welcome?
No, we are not going to get a heroic welcome.
Why not, Isaac?
Because for starters, he hasn't asked for one.
Okay.
Like how Maro did.
Maro did, and even Kenzo did. So Chameleon hasn't asked for one. So we are not going to give him one.
Is the Leon Island Music Empire Fans Group not?
No, it is not. It is
It's
silent.
not there?
Is this
Silent.
still
It is
there?
silent.
But does he have to ask for it?
Exactly.
He doesn't have to,
There are people
but
that will not ask for it and they will get it.
Maybe Reggie is going to lead the delegation this time.
But it's assured he will get it.
I think so.
Isaac disagrees.
I'm disagreeing because he might fly in at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the night.
Okay.
Nigerian time.
But by returning, still in that same line, if I might ask, is he fully recovered? Is he coming to recover, from home?
I think his treatment is done for now in the US, so he's supposed to come back.
and rest.
Okay, let's say his time in USA.
Yes, he was. Why did he go to the US for
Yeah,
certain?
but then when he reached the US, we started seeing pictures of him partying.
Is it proper to say that his time in the USA is done? Because we have seen the ruckus they have caused.
I suggested he was deported.
Okay. It's chameleon.
But Chameleon's life is an open book. So if anything, we shall find out when he comes back. But still speaking Chameleon, we have learned that he's having a concert this year
Yeah, Wanika.
in August,
August.
right?
August 1st.
Okay. Is he fit for a concert, or that is just typical Chameleon that every year he has to have something musically big on stage?
What?
And that will take us to our main topic today. Yeah.
He should be fit. He should be fit for a concert. I'm not saying physically,
Mentally.
but mentally, because
He misses it.
he has been rested. He should be fit. If he really went to recover, I feel like he should be ready. But you see, the problem is if he's coming back on Saturday, the chances that
Automatic.
he might come back at 3 and then reach his house at 3 on Monday.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Because he
That's
will go
Chameleon.
straight to the bar,
Okay.
Yeah.
spend the night there.
Well, for me, I think Chameleon had the show last year around the same time. I think this time it's
Was it in September?
No, it was 31st August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it will be 1 year later. One, this is a show that, as per what he posted, this is a show that is being organized by Artbeat, because as per his post, it shows Artbeat. I think Chameleon, it's high time you see, this was life-threatening for him. And the time that he took in the US under treatment was long to speak to the how big the problem is. I think upon return, he should first focus. For me, even if it meant taking this entire part of the year to rest and calm. Chameleon is Chameleon. You're our big artist. Even if you choose to.
He's not under any pressure.
Yeah, no,
to give us
no,
a
because
concert.
even if you have pressure to do the concert this year, there is no new music there is nothing added
Like,
on to what
we like
offered us
Chameleon.
last year.
The way he is,
Yeah,
yes.
So even if you choose to put the concert next year, start of the year, people will come. So I think he should take the time to rest and fully heal.
Well,
That only matters if you have to consider the people around you.
yeah. Actually, those
Because they
around
also,
him are
it
very
has
big
been a
part.
while since they last worked.
Yeah.
You know, with Chameleon on stage,
I was
other
very-
people
I
are
don't think
earning.
they've already booked him in events.
I was told one of his IDs for the time he has been in the US, crossed and moved to
Because if-
Sahar's camp. Yet by the time Chameleon left,
If I remember, if I remember very well, by the time he fell sick, he was going for a concert, or he was going to sing for some concert. That's when he fell sick, and immediately they rushed him to Nakasero. So ideally, I think I feel like the guy he has been missing music,
it is not about.
and
it's
the way
about
Chameleon
himself.
is, like we talked about here, Isaac and Regan, the way that guy is, I don't think he's going to rest. Believe you me, he's going to come back whatever time he comes. First foremost, either bar or studio.
The choice is his.
But that's his life. He's
Yeah,
playing
also
with
feels
it.
He should not get back on
One
that.
thing I know,
And-
the son will be in position
And also you are forgetting that even the people around him, one, the brothers, the mom. So ideally, I feel like they love him to be there. You won't get much thing that you want for him to rest.
My
You want.
advice will be Chameleon, take much of the advice that is offered by your son than the people around you.
Does even take advice anyway.
Well, I think if Chameleon was on this show, on this set, he would disagree with us on so many things. Yes, almost, yeah, everything. But yeah, that is. But still, speaking about concerts, our main topic today is about concerts and how the contracts that musicians and promoters always have, if any, anyway. That we have had a story recently of a musician called Omega 256. She was supposed to have a concert at Cricket Oval early this year.
No, in May.
next month.
Next month.
Next month.
Yes.
Second.
Yes. But no, the earlier concert that,
The
that
other
was
concert was in
cancelled.
Barara.
Was in, but
Barara.
no,
In Barara.
the concert that the promoter said was cancelled.
It's
Yes.
in May.
It's in May. It's
Okay.
the same concert. He
Okay.
has said
Same
it's
dates.
going to happen.
Okay. So, but the circumstances that surrounded the cancellation of that concert and the whole environment around the concert was very chaotic. The promoter came out to accuse Eddie Kenzo to have had
with
a
that.
hand in the cancellation of that concert. He sabotaged it in one way or another. But also there
It
were
was explicitly clear.
Slept with a
He
girl.
said Eddie Kenzo sexually sabotaged the concert.
okay. I was trying to hide that under the carpet, but well, how we don't know. But yes, so but there were concerns around the concert, around how it was rushed. Very few rehearsals. The artist had limited time for rehearsals. The promotion was wanting. The whole
The artist
situation.
was being held at ransom.
At ransom.
By the promoter.
Yes. Yes. What do you guys think about what contract should a musician go into with a promoter before having a concert? What should the environment be? Giving an example of what we have just discussed. Andrew, I'll start with you.
Oh, ouch. Like, I'm usually very opinionated about concerts because I think there are still murky waters where someone always loses and someone
Gains.
wins.
Yeah.
And at times the person winning is neither the promoter or the artist. At times they are both losers.
In that case, now who is the win?
In that case, there were times when Naburi is the winner.
Let the guy finish his point.
There are times when Naburi is the winner and
Okay.
the artist and the promoter
Promoter?
are crying. So, I personally have never understood why most artists want to have concerts in the manner they have the concerts. Because I've been lucky to speak to many I can access, and they will tell you they make losses. It is very hard to find an artist who will tell you they actually broke even. In fact, the artists that I've talked to and they broke even are the artists that stage their shows at the National Theatre or small spaces like
Design Hub.
Design Hub. For those, they found a way, and they found a way mainly because it's a small venue. The booking
Production
fees
is not
manageable,
that.
Production is not that hard, and at that time
The
when
number of audience they
Design Hub
want.
still had Feza, like
Mm.
there was almost a stage to start with.
Yeah.
Which is the same case with the National Theatre, that there is a stage, there is sound to start with, so you're just filling in a couple of things. But when it comes to the concerts, we end up seeing, for example, the Cricket Oval, like you're dealing with Steve.
An empty stadium that you have to.
60 million to just put the stage there. And that's before you even think about paying Cricket Oval. So
When
I've
that is-
never understood why artists want to have concerts. So one, they have a concert and the promoter usually comes on board because they see a way out. Personally, I believe
They want to
it's-
make money.
I believe it's at times it's money laundering because like I can't understand if Allianz King made money at Cricket Oval,
They didn't.
but if a promoter came and invested money, maybe they saw a way, and that way could be money laundering. Like I can't think about it in any other way. But yeah, most of the times you do not have airtight contracts. And if the contract exists, most of the times it's giving the promoter way too much power. That the concert ceases being of the artist, but for the promoter. And in that way, the promoter can decide and kick off even some people, because I know a promoter who kicked off NMG and introduced a new media house after the artist had a very long discussion with NMG of what they wanted, the kind of deal he wanted, and then the promoter just kicked them off after having like one conversation at Nabu. Was like, yeah, I think I like you guys, kick the other ones off, introduce these people. So I think the contracts at the moment give a lot of power to artists, to the promoters.
Okay.
I feel like I have an issue with Norbert,
The promoter.
The promoter. First and first, this was the first time the thing is happening with him. Even last year, ideally when he was organizing Weasel, Rage and Weasel, same thing happened.
Oh wait, he cancelled Weasel's concert as well.
No, after the scenario.
The shows. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So ideally when he was organizing Rage, at the same time, Omega also had the concert in Ibarra. Many think it's a stand.
But
Because
he shortly cancelled Rage's concert and said he will put the
Yes. It's the same thing that he has come up and he has done on Omega. Shortly announcing he has cancelled it, and then after he's saying he's back. I feel like this guy, musicians, to my perspective, I think musicians need to have lawyers. A very few people, musicians, have lawyers who understand these contracts. Many of these artists come into this business of making money, little knowing they are spending it and they are not making out of it. A beautiful scenario is Bebeko. When Bebeko is going to all the concert, he has his lawyers, like each and every term is put down. So the moment you come and say that ABCD, he has his contract, you're going to lose it. So I feel like these musicians need to sit down, have a good team, have lawyers, have like management that can follow up with the thing before you have this ruckus of saying that, you know what, the promoter is canceling that show, ABCD, like, yeah.
Isaac, I have a question for you. For a musician, and I'm not setting you up for anything, but for a musician who has been promised by a promoter, promised say 75 million, with a cash down payment of about 25 million, do they have the energy, for lack of a better words, the balls to make demands on how their concert should be run? Any contractual demands? Are they confident enough?
We have some professional promoters, people like Katie. I believe they are so professional.
Okay.
They cannot promise something that they will not deliver. So for an artist who has dealt with such promoters, sure deal, you're going to get your whole payment. Whether he has made a loss or not, you're going to get paid because you've signed somewhere. But going back to Norbert, I heard the artist saying, because it is her career on the line,
Yes.
it is her brand on the line.
Yeah.
So the things she demanded were not put in place. She was asking for rehearsals. The man was not offering any money for rehearsals. She was asking for advertisement. She was not seeing posters. She was not seeing billboards. She was not seeing banners,
She wasn't saying
adverts anywhere. Yet, we are just a few weeks away from the what? From the
3 weeks
concert.
to the concert.
3 weeks to the concert. Then the promoter comes out and said he was disrespected by the artist.
Yeah.
So he has the audacity of cancelling the what?
The concert.
Until she apologizes to him, and that she should be an example to other artists as well. You understand? So I believe some of these promoters take artists for granted. Because at the end of the day, you blame the artist little because they want the money also. So, and they need to prove a point. So just imagine, Reggie is one of the biggest artists, if not the biggest artist in Bara. He held a show at Cricket Oval. It was so successful. Omega, you could say, is one of the few big artists in Imbarara. She has already proven a point in Imbarara. So she has to prove a point in Kampala as well. That visibility, she has to be known. So a promoter comes and says, I'm going to invest in you to stage a concert. I'm going to offer you this kind of money. So she has to bow down to you because you're offering her a service. But at the end of the day, you're tarnishing her name. Because when she steps on stage or when the concert is cancelled,
Her brand is spoiled.
many people are not going to be talking about the promoter. They're going to be talking about the artist.
Yeah.
So I believe these artists should know which kind of promoter to deal with, because this is not the first time it's happening.
Okay.
He has done it with Ray G,
Yeah.
the same artist from Balera. He has done it with Weasel, who ended up beating him.
Beating
the crusade.
You understand?
yes,
so
yes.
I feel artists should know which promoters.
And there was also a fracas around Alien Skin's concert, for which Norbert was the promoter.
Exactly.
Because the original initial venue was Africana.
Africana, then
There
he
was a
had to change
controversy
to
of
Cricket
cancellation. Then but Patrick, with the associations that we have for promoters, I don't know how many they are now.
We know only one.
We know
Uganda Promoters
And is
Association.
it-
That
that's
is
during the
headed by Bala.
Bala.
during the Guru extravaganza, we had so many of them, but for obvious reasons, I guess.
Why I would like to dispute that association, despite it having some of the big names in the industry, is they came out after the Alien Skin and Palazzo confrontation.
Yeah.
They came out and issued a document
Yes.
saying these two artists are not
Shouldn't
going to
perform
perform,
anywhere.
are not going to perform anywhere.
Yeah.
And then a week after,
Palazzo.
Palazzo performed at Serena. A week after, they had issued that document that these two artists are not going to perform anywhere, and they shouldn't be booked by any promoter under that association.
Even before you go even further, not even the
Norbert is I believe Norbert is under that association. He booked Alien Skin for a concert.
Patrick, you've shared conversations with people in these associations and artist leadership. Shouldn't this be the opportunity where these associations, particularly associations for promoters, shouldn't this be the opportunity where they come to show their authority and their leadership skills to sort of reign over such wrangles and disagreements in music, in concerts? What is their role to start with?
In the real world,
The ideal world.
The ideal world, that's how
It should be.
But practically, you see promoters are businessmen. And that's where the problem comes from in the very first place. If you look at the trend, the recent trends, most of these promoters have particular kinds of artists that they work with. There is a very big question. The reason as to why KT, a promoter of KT's caliber, or Balam, is not the one organizing a concert like
Omega.
Like Omega 256 concert. The reason is artists, at whatever level they are at, their interests in these concerts are different.
Yeah.
For an artist like Omega 256, actually, I'm not sure, but I would want to believe her interest is not even money. She's trying to break a certain kind of
Break barriers.
To break barriers. That okay, I did it in Ibarra. Now to prove that I'm big at the national level, I need to come to Kampala and stage a concert at the
Cricket over.
the cricket over. Business-wise, a business person like it won't buy that. But a guy like Norbert, with his trend of always
Generation promoter.
yeah, you see, you fail to understand whether Norbert wants to be the real deal in the show or is actually promoting the artist, because he ideally should be making sure the artist is in the lights. But around
And the
time
artist
of
is
organization,
comfortable.
it is him who is fronting himself, and this has happened almost at all the shows that he has been organizing.
Yeah.
But the idea is, these promoters are, to answer the question, these promoters are business people. Of course, they cannot come out and, because I'll give you an example. If the association of promoters came out and they're like, they're taking the lead, we want to stop this, nobody will perceive them as haters, they are trying to breathe down on him. And another time, if Balam also has a concert, nobody will look for that one particular thing to hold against him, so it will be more of an internal kind of rift within them. But the idea is, for me, clearly, these are business people who came to make money using the content and the brands within the music industry. The idea is, artists, the earlier you realized that, the better. Because I believe as artists, if you're well prepared or if you have the content, you can choose to work with particular teams, or even if it's promoters, There are very many people that are organized. I saw Irene Nandi, Oliver and Juliana. You can save yourself the entire ruckus and work with teams that are very organized. They will deliver. But then that also comes with a lot of hard work before. Because when you look at most of the artists that are in these kinds of wrangles, they also have a lot of issues with the kind of content they are going to put out. Either concerts are with Picanyo. Look at all the ruckus that the gentleman Norbert has been in. Look at all these concerts. Ray G was big, he had the music, but he was trying to break a certain chain. So most of the promoters thought he was not the one to put their money on crossing to Kampala. But Weasel, when you look at Weasel, it was his first time doing something good life without his counterpart. So it's been more of risk, and Norbert has placed himself as the guy that can risk. So there is that reality. And for me, I think Omega 256, my words are, there is no pressure. Reggie took very many years to actually even stage his first solo concert within Imbarara. If you're blessed to do it in 2, 3, 4 years, there is no rush for you to actually come to Kampala. You might fight so hard to make a concert in Kampala, and you're in issues with people like Norbert, they're just going to kill your career. Or there is no reason as to why you just can't wait, perfect your craft, and let the market just demand for you down here in Kampala.
And we are talking about the Promoters Association. What about the Musicians Association?
The federation.
The associations.
Why haven't they come out to protect one of their own? When she's facing?
Who is one of their own?
Omega.
256.
The idea is these associations that inclusion is at will. So
you mean to tell me she doesn't subscribe to any of those two?
well, are you sure she subscribes
they
to
say
anyone?
Kenzo is the reason.
Is it a question of whether or not she's in good books with, because that has always come up, because whether you have allegiance to a particular association or not, which has always dictated how that association serves you or bashes your
I
music.
could answer that. In Uganda, associations have never served the real cause of the artists.
Because this was one of
This was supposed to be a cause.
yes, all conversations between artists and promoters.
They've
Sit on
never
the-
served, like for them they believe the only time where they have to come out and talk is when they're talking about copyright.
Yeah.
That's the only time you hear associations, federations come out to speak. When it's about welfare, because this was a thing of welfare, like how is one of your member being treated by a member of the other association. They never come out on that. They never come out to demand for better venues. They never come out to, like, even when Shiba was, you know the question we asked Cindy after the whole situation of Shiba, we were like, your artist was robbed by someone, that's abuse, what do you have to say about it? And she was like, we need to prove it really happened. So
Yes.
so they never come out on anything artist welfare, it's only copyright.
For me, bottom line, I think artists should just be keen with who they choose to work with. And the case of Omega and Norbert, I see a lot of pressure from the artist. And one thing she's not knowing is that she's putting her brand, at least because it's now 3 weeks to the show.
And remember,
What
on that
artist is going to
on that very day, we have a concert at Serena. There's also a concert at La Bonita of comedians, some
Yes.
comedians. Then
Which concert is at the Serena?
Sophie Nantung,
Oh.
if I'm not mistaken.
And guys,
So just imagine
Omega
that
256,
scenario.
This is cricket oval.
No, I feel like this is where why I said the issue of management. You may find Omega is working alone, like each and
They
everything.
don't share
It's
management.
if at all she had a crystal clear management, these all rockers couldn't be there right now. Now you find she's alone. She doesn't have another cell can help her. Like this guy is taking advantage of her. Because believe you me, if you have come to me, I need to have a team who's going to follow up my advertisement,
Exactly.
my everything. So you may find that she's alone, and that's a problem where Isaac said these promoters take advantage of that.
My unpopular opinion, one, Omega shouldn't be
On pressure.
having a concert. In the same way, I believed Ray J shouldn't have been having the concert last year. But situations happen and they favor you. Like the entire Zawi thing, the bottles at Tempuka, like there was a build up which
That
kind
played
of
in his favor.
which played in his favor, and now like literally an entire region had something to come to Kampala
To prove. And
So
another
Andrew,
thing,
Andrew, to get you right, if with such a background that played in his favor, if factors were constant,
There were
That
chances
concert
that
was-
thing wasn't going to work.
Because remember, Ray G, there's a time even during lockdown, when in Bugolobi, that guy was hosted and did a press conference where they said he's going to have a concert at Comedy Store. You get? So everything, I think he had a favor, Comedy Store, everything, and why.
No, for me the idea with Omega 256 is, I understand the pressure that she's having, and the idea is that this concert puts you at another level. But it is far better for you to keep where you are than trying to reach a certain level, which you're not going to by messing up, and you actually leave the level where you are, and you just try to
Because you see why I say the other one was an unpopular opinion. Do you think Ray J can have a concert in Kampala this year?
No.
Yet in the normal circumstances, with the energy that show and the numbers are,
Yes.
just like a million again.
Yes.
This guy, it's an actual thing. Or
Yeah, like when Inwaji can still have a concert and people will show up. Yeah, they might not break the field like the other time, but they will show up.
Yes.
So do we think Ray J can pull that off?
No.
So if he can't pull that off, then what has happened in 1 year?
But guys, this sort of controversies has lingered on for years. When we look at industries like Nigeria that have grown way bigger than ours, what do we pick from such industries when it comes to organization of concerts? What lessons do we pick? I can start with you, Andrew.
Lessons to pick, they try their best not to be available.
Who?
The Nigerian artists in Nigeria. Like I've experienced that the 2 times I've been in Nigeria. You will be in Nigeria, to be particular, you will be in Lagos, and you go out to all the fancy places and you will not see Wizkid, you will not see Davido, you will not see Banabo. Basically, you will not see any of their
In
artists.
Kampala, you don't need to be at a random area in
Just take a stroll down your street and you reach one of them.
Create the
along the
anger.
Winton here.
And it's worse if you stay in Machin.
They create the anger by simply being scarce. And trust me, they are not scarce that they are abroad performing. At times they are somewhere working. Probably someone could be in Nairobi working or in South Africa working, but they try their level best not to be in people's faces. In Uganda, I think the only person that has managed to do it has been Joshua Baraka. Like he would just go and stay with a friend in Kenya and he will record. And like you will not be seeing him.
Even APAS is a bit scarce.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, is good at
And
that.
that's what,
Like the more you're scarce is the more you can raise your bill. Like you will tell someone this is the amount of money I want,
Yeah.
and they somehow think they can actually pay you that money. If you refuse and you do not take the small money they want to give you, trust me, they will find a way of coming back when they can afford you. But when you're showing up a lot and you're performing at technically each and every place, it's going to be so hard to get the respect, one from the sponsors, from the promoters, technically from everyone.
But Kagwa, someone might ask you, okay, Chameleon has not been scarce. Even during his concert, he was performing
Yeah.
at a wedding in Munyonyo.
The day before his concert,
Yeah, he was
somewhere.
somewhere.
around Kololo.
And then guess what? The concert is a
Sold
sellout.
out.
Bebe Cool. What is it?
Was the concert sold out?
Yes.
Come on, there were plates at the gallery. Plates at the gallery.
Kagwa.
There were plates at the gallery. That's why people were changing plates to come and serve people.
They are telling you, why should I discuss
No.
if
like-
at my concert people are going to show up?
Yes.
Mm.
No, so but putting other factors constant, whether it was a sellout or what, it was a successful concert.
Mm.
The big question is, are you chameleon? Because we don't have very many chameleons that can do that. That can be everywhere, and they still yield that.
But Isaac, I have a question for you. You've been in artist management, so you can best understand or explain to us this.
Why did you why did
No,
To explain.
I did host the show because the host today told me that he
Regan.
wanted to pose particular
Regan,
question.
Regan,
And
before Isaac,
it is at this particular point that I want you, Regan, to give us a preamble before you ask Isaac the question. Give our viewers the
no,
preamble.
before
Him being the artist manager who
before-
and
before
so that he
before
can
you ask Isaac,
I don't want to intimidate right
before you ask Isaac, I wanted to add something little on what Kagwa was saying. Like our artists here in Uganda, they're not scarce, and that's where you find the
They're
problem.
everywhere.
Yes. When Burna Boy went to Lagos with his girlfriend that time, because even the bar itself, they made sure that by that time when Burna Boy is around, people had to pay to enter.
to just associate themselves
Yes,
with that.
yes. And remember, not everyone was allowed to enter inside the bar. You get- And that's, I feel like that's a problem where we find our artists now everywhere. By the time you do this thing, that if
Yeah, Isaac actually also add about the chameleon. Yes, chameleon is everywhere, and he had a successful concert. But let's not forget that the red card, chameleon's red card, where it is today, is not where it should rightfully have been
Yeah.
at the moment. And it's, for me, a result of him being here and there.
So you can tell us.
Isaac, before I forget my question, most of the artists who suffer what Omega is suffering, for most cases, it is either the artist is quote unquote being helped by the promoter, doing them a favor, so to speak. But you would consider the fact that most of the time, what puts them in that space is that they don't have music at that time. Probably they have more controversies than the music, but they have a name already that they worked for a long time ago.
Case in point, Rabadab.
Please let me drive my question home. Having been there with artists in the same caliber, so to speak,
Such as.
musicians that you worked closely with, how many musicians have you worked with so that we can drop names? Okay, my question is, you may find trouble answering that. But
Let Isaac answer the question.
I haven't finished the question, bro. So my question
He's
is
going to forget the question. You're disrupting him. One man.
my question therefore is, who has the upper hand when a concert is being organized? Let's give an example of Omega, for example. Who should have the upper hand when they are coming on a table to negotiate what is going to be done? Is it the artist or the promoter? Who is doing who a favor? Should there be a win-win? If the artist has no music, for example, and they have more controversies, more other things that are contributing to that concert, what should be the agreement as you're going into
Where
that
should the
concert?
line be?
Where should the line be drawn as our topic to discuss? You could
What's-
give maybe you could refer to some of the things that
So the concert
For
is organized
starters,
you could refer to some of the artists
For
that you have
starters-
worked with.
For starters, the artist has the music,
is the show and the
and
business.
people come to see the what?
The artists.
The artist. So I believe it is the artist who should have the upper hand. If it's a contract you're supposed to sign, yes, the promoter might be investing in money
Yeah.
to have your concert, but I believe the artist should have a upper hand. Should earn more as per the contract. For Alien Skin, let me talk about Alien Skin. When he had a show at Freedom City, circumstances made that share success. Palasso's
Yeah.
beating him. And then that affiliation to the ghetto, people were like, why should he be disrespected
And
like
people
that?
had issues with the Mayanja.
And yes, exactly. And that people, so, was it Abitex who organized that show?
Yes.
So it was a win-win.
Yeah.
The artist made a name for himself because the numbers that went to Freedom City were overwhelming to that extent that they had to break the gates.
And
You understand?
Some people
around
then-
2-3
You understand?
people died
So
over there.
the artist made money, made a name, okay, because I believe he was already paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because after he came out and said,
They gave him some
Little
money.
they gave him little money, so the promoter has to what? But they did not have a contract. I believe they didn't, because if they had a contract, there's no way Aliens King would have come out and demanded more money. If I don't know whether
He
Abitex.
15 million.
So guys, we are almost closing the show, but with all these with all this chaos, the challenges that are, you know, woven within this whole fracas, what then should be the most ideal option? Should the artists do away with promoters? Because if you have promoters who are disrespecting artists like this, and then some of them don't pay the artist as earlier agreed, should then the option be for the artists to organize their own concert? What should be, how can that dynamic play out?
I think I'll go first. The bottom line is artists. What our music artists need to do is just do good music. Have good music at whatever opportune time you want to put out a concert. When you have good music, also the level and class of the promoters that you're going to attract will be that. Trust me, I'll give you an example. Today, Elijah Chitaka is a trending artist. If he chose to organize a concert now, even with his music that is having trending today, he will attract a certain class of a promoter who, from the business perspective, will look at the capability of him breaking even. He has the good music, but the promoter will be like, you won't help me make the money or get the numbers. But an artist like, let me say Vinka, who has had some good music, has not held a show for a long time, at whatever time she might want to choose, say if she wasn't under that particular management, the top class promoters will come and they will give her a big share. But if you're coming and you're desperate, you're looking at getting your career from one step to another, you won't attract the best of the promoters. And the promoter that will come, of course, will take advantage of you because they are looking at you like, I mean, you even don't have the music, I'm helping you put it to another level. So bottom line, it all goes back to have the music, be popular amongst the masses from wherever I want to do the music. Omega 256 has good music, but at the moment, in Kampala where she wants to do the concert, is she as big? The answer is no.
I believe they both need each other because without the promoters, you know, holding a concert is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
And for an artist to hold their own concert, a lot has to be put in place. Yet, all you have to do is step on that stage, give us,
Give us the
deliver.
music, deliver.
But just imagine you're on stage, you're thinking about the entry fee. You're thinking about the security, the venue, then the lighting, then how is the sound, how is the production, all that distraction.
URA is around.
URA is also in the booth collecting the money.
Yeah.
So I believe the artist needs the what? The promoter.
Promoter.
And the promoter also needs the what? The artist. Because at the end of the day, it's business. The promoter pays the artist. Then the promoter gets the money from the gate collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they both need each other. But one thing is professionalism.
Okay, guys, time is against us.
Kabwa hasn't submitted. Fabian hasn't submitted.
Before Kabwa comes in, to the question that you asked, I feel like they both need each other. But as I submit my statement, one, musician, you need to have good music, and two, have a good team Yes, because you can't work, you can't do all these things alone. You get, one, you'll need to be on TV. You need a manager to help you run this and this. You need PR. You need to be like a case in point, like Epas did. The good thing that Epas had, the sister was helping her, was helping him. I mean, Maureen was, you could find literally Maureen was everywhere. But I guarantee you, a point right now, Omega 256. Believe me, she can't do each and everything right now. She's alone. And yet, you need someone who's to be there. Like, yes, the promoters brought you up. The rest of the work is his, and your team has to be there. For you, go and do your rehearsals, come on the main day, perform each and everything you want. Yes.
Yes, Andrew.
One first things first, congratulations on promoting Vinka's concert. Even
Yeah.
before.
I put out a petition, both the 100 signatures. Swans instead introduced an album.
But anyway, one of the things I would say is it's very important to cultivate your own audience, an audience that understands you. The two people that I believe managed to do that in Uganda very well have been Maurice and Kenneth Mugazi. They got an audience that understands them for who they are. One, artists and promoters need each other, but trust me, the only person in that equation that can do a thing without the other is the artist. A promoter cannot pull off a concert without an artist, but the artist can pull off a concert
Without the promoter.
Without a promoter. An artist needs to work on their music. You do not need a concert to put you to the next level. You need music to put you to the next level. Like, I mean, Epas got where he has gotten without having a single concert.
In 10 years.
In 10 years, Vinka has technically gotten to where she is. She has never had a concert. So, and even Nwaji was with us for like 10 years and she had never had a concert. I do not see why there is always a rush, why there is the pressure. Like I said, I do not know why Omega feels like she needs to have a concert.
On that very point, guys, from each one of you, just one line. What is your last words to Omega and the promoter? Starting with you, Andrew.
Since is it still on or it's
Yeah,
cancelled?
the promoter told us it is on. It is back on.
Oh, okay.
They announced the press conference on Monday.
Since it's on right now, there is nothing to do. They need to have it. Let her get herself together and give Ugandans a good show.
Patrick?
For me, my message will go to Omega. Time is not enough. Don't put your brand at risk. It is not so late for you to cut whatever partnership you have with the promoter. Simply call off the show. Thank you.
Really, Patrick? 3 weeks to the show?
We
Okay.
shall be back here, and
I
I'll be exonerated.
idea I was going to say the same thing, but regardless, Omega, yes, if I were you, I would still do music and first leave the concert issue aside, focus on music and come at later stage and do my concert, and then of which it will turn out. But right now, I'm putting my brand at risk.
Isaac?
Mine goes to nobody.
Yes.
Please be professional. We are not going to have the same issues every year, same script with every artist.
Maybe that's what defines him as generational. Whatever that means.
All people with that generation.
Okay, guys, it's been such a deep conversation today about concerts, promoters, musicians, generational promoters. We hope this is not a generational conversation that will go on and on and on. We hope generational managers. we hope this conversation doesn't drag, and we hope that best for the artist, Omega 256. We thank you for being a part of the show, and we shall see you next week.